am I too old to start jiu-jitsu? I'm 52 years old. I'm 49 years old. And what I tell them is, you're not too old. You're definitely not too old, but you need to be smart. And one of the smartest decisions you need to make is choosing your training partners. And you don't want to train if you're a 52-year-old guy that's never trained before and you're a white belt and you're going to get on the mat. The person you don't want to train with is the other white belt that's 22 years old, that's on steroids, that's going to go psycho, and he just doesn't know how to control his body. Whereas the black belt, the percentage chance of you being hurt by a black belt, if you're a white belt that's just, is nearly zero.
Nearly zero if it's a legit black belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I teach my kids class sometimes. My kid takes a mixed martial arts class, and the instructor asked me to come in and demonstrate one particular type of move the other day. And so I demonstrated it, and we were talking about like some different positions that are important for kids to recognize, like how to make sure you don't get, like, kids were giving up their back where they were trying to pass guard. They were trying to pass guard and they were pushing down, and I'm like, you never want to turn your shoulder like that, because I had explained to them the arm drag. So I'm explaining to these kids the arm drag, and you see their little brain spinning, man, and you see them practicing on each other, and they're laughing, and they're girls, so you're watching these like 8-year-old girls having the best time, like choking each other and everything and going through these motions. And to me, I think it's fucking awesome, man. These kids do it all the time. No one's getting hurt. They're having a great time with each other. And it's just this primal release. Like, let's get all that shit out of there, and then you can be civil. Yeah,
well, even if there's no jiu-jitsu instruction involved and there's no mats around, and you take two kids and you put them in the yard, eventually they're going to start wrestling with each other and trying to hold each other down.
Especially boys.
Yeah, boys for sure.
Yeah.
Boys for sure.
I was at a party once with my kids, and these two boys started going at it. And neither one of them had any training, you could tell. But it's just natural. Like, they're getting their hips low, and they're trying to push each other, and they're trying to figure it out, and neither one of them knew what to do. And I kind of wanted to go up and start coaching them, but they're just playing in the grass. I didn't want, it's like, it's fascinating to see just natural human instincts.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I've noticed in teaching kids jiu-jitsu is the kids that are a little bit more cerebral. The parents will think, well, my son, he's kind of a nerd, he's kind of a smart kid, I don't know if he's going to like this. But the opposite is actually true very often, where the kid that's cerebral, he'll recognize as soon as you show him three things, like you said, his wheels are turning. He's going, wait a second, this is a skill I can learn, and if I know this, then and the other guy doesn't know this, I'll be able to beat him. And so cerebral kids often get into it even more than some kid that's just kind of a natural bruiser.
Oh yeah, 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu is filled with nerds. They're all nerds. They're assassin nerds. It's really kind of interesting.
It is, and you're not being facetious when you use the word assassin nerds, because this is if you go back before you knew jiu-jitsu, before I knew jiu-jitsu, and I was a big Navy SEAL, 200 pounds. One of those kids that's 145 pounds would absolutely have destroyed me if we got into a fight. Boom, take my back, put me to sleep. You know what I mean? I might, put up an okay fight and hit him one time in the side of the head, and then he's in on my back and put me to sleep. That's the reality. Nerd assassins coming at you strong.
Well, it is. It's a complex game of kinetic chess. It's more complex than chess because, in chess you've got these different pieces and they're restricted in their movements. Jiu-Jitsu is not restricted in its movement, and every transition has so many different possibilities and so many different setups. There's so many different times you get led one way, and then just to get you to defend so that they can establish a second position, and they get you to defend that so they can establish a third position.
Yeah, and that part of it is what I think really, for me, transferred from jiu-jitsu to not only to the battlefield but to life as well, because the big thing in jiu-jitsu from my perspective is that you don't go strength against strength, right? If I'm trying to choke you, I don't try and choke you overtly. I don't just grab your neck. No, I work on your arm and I put pressure over here and I pass your guard, and then I eventually, while you're thinking about something else, boom, that's when I grab your neck, or that's when I grab your arm. And that's what I think on the battlefield, you just don't attack hardened positions of the enemy. And in life, if you're trying to be a leader, you're trying to step up and lead somebody, you don't just come down and bark orders at people, because that's not as effective as maneuvering and adjusting your position and getting in a better position, and then getting that person to give you what you want instead of trying to take it from them.
Yeah.